Hello everyone, how you doing? I hope you're all doing really well today. I'm Lindsay, your host of the Heavy Metal Journal and writer for This Day in Metal, and I'm back with New Metal Monday, where I talk about my favourite new releases of the week, and I have 4 brand new albums that I want to talk about this week. But before I begin, as always, check out the description box below where you will find a Spotify playlist which will feature every single album that I talk about on my New Metal Monday videos. So if you use Spotify, make sure to follow that playlist because I do update it every single Monday after this video goes live on a weekly basis. If you don't use Spotify though, don't worry about it because I will also include the band's Bandcamp links and their YouTube channels just so you guys can find the music that I'm talking about as easily as possible. But also, whilst you're in the description box, check out the This Day in Metal website, which is the website that I write for, where we bring you breaking news in the metal world, new release information, in-depth album reviews that break down albums track by track in a lot more detail, interviews, special features. We're adding loads to the website at the moment, so definitely check that out and subscribe, which would really help me and the This Day in Metal team in what we do. But like I said, 4 brand new albums I want to talk about, so let's get started. Okay, so first up on my list, of course, I have 200 Stab Wounds with Manual Manic Procedures, and it's the second studio album from the US death metal band. Now, I've had to censor the artwork because YouTube will yell at me, and I get yelled at enough from YouTube, and I don't want to give them another excuse to yell at me, so we have a Care Bear instead. So you're just going to have to deal with the Care Bear, and I think it's a very lovely Care Bear, and hopefully YouTube won't yell at me for the Care Bear. I've said Care Bear a lot. Anyway, moving swiftly on from the Care Bear. Now, the thing I really like about this record is that the band have evolved their slam, brutal death metal sound from their debut record, but they've created and developed deeper, catchier hooks this time round. Don't get me wrong, they very much have that intense ferocity, breakneck speed, really heavy stomps, blistering blast beats, frantic riffage, and there's something really evil and ominous about this record. But they've also added in a little bit of atmosphere as well. So you do have your keys and your synths, but they are very occasional. It's not overwhelming at all, and it just creates this very dynamic, multi-layered sense of ominous evil. This record is disgustingly evil and dark. The guitar work in this is unbelievable. The instrumentation in particular, there's an instrumental in the middle of this record, and that really showcases the band's musical prowess. And there's something about this record that just has this very commanding presence, but it really does grip you in a vice-like grip and does not let go as it pummels you into submission over and over and over again. I absolutely loved everything about this record. This is my favourite kind of death metal, where you do have that kind of ominous feeling about it, but the guitar work is astronomical. Solos everywhere, frantic riffage, blistering blast beats, but you've also got the rhythmical side of the drums as well, demonic vocals, chugging bass lines, and it just completely annihilates everything. This album is so addictive and I absolutely love it. So if you are a fan of the likes of Dying Fetus, Cannibal Corpse, Tribal Gaze, or Frozen Soul, you're definitely going to want to get onto this one, minus the Care Bear. I only put that there because YouTube will yell at me otherwise, and the first thing that popped into my head was a Care Bear, so there you go. Okay, so next up on my list, I have Wraith with Fueled by Fear, and it's the 4th studio album from the blackened thrash speed metal band. Now, I really enjoyed their last album, Undo the Chains, and they've really capitalised on the success and sound of that last album to create Fueled by Fear. And honestly, I didn't think they could get any better compared to their last album, but this one blew it out of the water completely. I love everything to do with thrash metal and black metal, so when a band perfectly combine those two elements, but then put it on sports mode because it's super fast, I am all over that. Chugging bass lines, blistering blast beats, flying solos everywhere, and really precise yet incredibly fast guitar work. The riffs in this are absolutely unreal. And the vocal style is a great balance between thrash metal and black metal. So you've got that rasping black metal element, but make it thrashy, and it's executed so well. This is a really addictive, fun album to listen to, but there's also something very dark and ominous about it as well. But not only that, it's melodically rich. So yes, it's fast. Yes, there's black metal. Yes, it's very thrashy. But there's also that rich melodic element as well that really hooks you in. I absolutely loved this record. So if you liked their last record, or if you are a fan of Hellripper or Enforced, Devastator, Venom, that kind of sound, this one is definitely for you. Okay, so next up on my list, I have Neaera with All Is Dust, and it's the 8th studio album from the German melodic death metal band, and I probably pronounced that band's name incorrectly, but we're going to go with Neaera. And before I begin talking about the actual album itself, check out that album artwork. That is gorgeous. Now this is straight up in your face, no frills, all thrills, melodic death metal. So you've got those low guttural growls, rasping screams, and the occasional melodic vocalization as well. The chugging bass lines and the blistering blast beats, basically the rhythm section, has this very ominous, evil kind of feel to it, and that really contributes to these tracks, which are absolute monsters. You've also got the melodically rich guitar riffs, flying solos absolutely everywhere. This record is incredible. The band really mixes things up throughout this entire record. So you've got that frantic energy about it, the very fast-paced tracks, but you've also got those really cool mid-tempo, groove-laden stompy stomps throughout it as well. And there's just something incredibly addictive about this record. The vocals and the instrumentation are so well balanced. No one element of the record is drowned out by the other, and each track has a unique sound to it. But even though all of the tracks are unique, the entire record flows incredibly well. So if you are a fan of the likes of At the Gates or Early In Flames, Night Rage, even the Upon Stone record that came earlier this year, basically that heavier side to the melodic death metal genre, this one is definitely for you. Okay, so last up on my list, but certainly by no means least, I have Illdisposed with In Chambers of Sonic Disgust, and it's the 15th studio album from the Danish melodic death metal band. 15 studio albums is a huge milestone. Addictive groove stomps, frantic riffage, the melodies are incredibly rich and addictive in this as well. But even though the melodies are very, very rich, there's something very dark and heavy about this record. It has a very sinister kind of feel to it. Proper demonic low growls and rasps and screams just swing at you from every angle like an unhinged anvil. The power and the energy behind those vocals is immense. This record alternates between those mid-tempo stomps and lightning speed riffage as well, but the really cool thing about this is they utilise synths and keyboards that again creates this very ominous, evil, dark, sinister presence and atmosphere throughout the entire record. They are very tastefully placed, so even though they are very prominent, it's not overbearing at all, and it doesn't take away from the instrumentation of this record, and that instrumentation is incredible. The focal point is still very much the guitar work, backed up by the rhythm section, so you've got those really heavy bass lines, and the drums in this are absolutely devastating, and it's just a wonderful slab of melodic death metal with all of that synthy goodness, but it's still incredibly heavy at the same time. So if you are a fan of the likes of Cataclysm or Early Arch Enemy, Gods Dethroned, that kind of sound, you're definitely going to want to get onto this one. And that's it for this week's New Metal Monday. Once again, comment down below to let me know what you think of today's records, and if you have any of your own recommendations, please let me know and I will definitely check those out. Make sure to follow my Spotify playlist or check out the band's Bandcamp or YouTube details in the description box. Like, share, subscribe. I really do appreciate your support as always. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves and I will see you very soon.